Hey, what's up? What's going on? Oh, good to be back. Awesome. My bench is a mess, but I think we'll get by. I think we will. I do this other piece of paper. I'm going to need that. Oh, yeah. Miss Hurd, hello. Good having you in there. Susan Ann, hi from Australia. Well, hello, right back at you. Val, hey, Chris, what's up? What's going on, Val? Good to see you in there. Blue Utopia. Hey there, Chris. Mikhail here from, okay, on 114, okay? Let me go ahead and make that. For some reason, these things are never big enough. Let me go ahead and just make this bigger. 114 degrees. I see you. Wow. Photography, light, and magic. Hi, Chris. Hope you are well. I am well. Thank you very much for asking. Okay. What's up there, Hatchet Man? Good to see you in there. Corin Brosh, hello. Dennis, what's happening? Good to see you in there, man. Pete's vlog. What's going on, player? What's going on with you, man? Good evening, Chris. J. Lewis. What's going on? Steve, 127. Let's raid Area 51. That'd be a good idea, but, I'm sure it's crossed a lot of people's minds. Let me make sure we got audio is good here. Sometimes this thing will be different. It is a little lower than usual. Okay, let's see if we can't crank it up a bit. What do you think? That's where I usually like to have it. That should be a little bit better. Ken Wells, big fan from New Hampshire. My mom and my stepfather lived up there, right up there in Wyndham, just over the line, Massachusetts line. Nice area, man. I love it. And Chris, good to see you here from all in London. Well, good to see you in there, man. Bush Corey. Let's see. My name's Alan, by the way. Sweet. Thomas Morris. What's going on? Big hello to Daytona Beach. What's going on? Yeah, Val, for some reason, it's like you can, boom, I don't care how big of a screen you have. There's always this little area like this, this little chat area. So you got to just make it bigger. So this way it's a lot better. Because sometimes you find yourself doing like this. Even if you got good vision, you're still doing it, right? Suzuki Kerm. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. 125 IFY. Hi, Chris. What do you think about the upcoming moon missions? Readings from Belgium. I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. A lot of people ask me that. Hey, Chris, what do you think is going to happen? Now that China's going back up there, all this stuff's going on. What do you think is going to happen? Are they going to show us the real deal? Are we going to finally get disclosure? I wouldn't hold my breath. Only because if you think about the reason why they're there to begin with, you know what I mean? And from the stuff that they're hiding here on the moon, and a lot of these photos right from the word go, like from the Apollo missions. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath on them saying anything of any value. Let's put it that way, or showing anything of any value. Ron G, Captain Ron from Franklin, Wisconsin. What's going on, Ron? Good to see you in there, man. Aditya Tata, have you ever thought about categorizing structures on the moon and creating a collection of images like domes, pads, towers? I have. I just haven't gotten around to it. I like to be able to do that and break it all down. It's kind of like my videos. I've got be like the moon or Mars and stuff like that. And I was starting to do that a while back, and I just haven't caught up to it. So I need to, make like you said, categorize these things. It'd be pretty cool to do, Kenneth Riley, good evening, brother from England. What's going on, man? Good to see you in there. John Devon, hey, Chris, glad you're back. I'm glad I'm back, too. I got up early. I don't know about you guys, man, but I went to bed around midnight, still got up around, it was 6, right around 6 o'clock this morning. And I got up, did a quick walk, 3.5 miles, started the day off like that. It was only 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Sweet, right? Perfect weather as far as I'm concerned, but you still get all wet because it was foggy as heck out. But I still enjoy going out there and, just, taking it easy, taking a walk nice and quiet, let's see. How has everyone's weather been? Miss Heard, let me tell you something. It's 93 degrees right now. Feels like 95 degrees. So it's a little toasty over here. And it's supposed to be like 93, 95 tomorrow, both Monday as well as Tuesday. So yeah, we're a little bit of a steam bath here. Not too bad. I mean, it's been hotter in other places, but it's with the humidity. It's uncomfortable. Let's put it that way, right? Happy Sunday. Hello, brother. Will, it's good to see you there, brother. KP, love your channel. Keep up the great work. Well, I appreciate you, man. I sure will. Let me see. Good morning from Sydney, Australia, Chris. Hey, Jose. There he is. The man himself. Lucky Mo. Hello. Good to see you. Good to see you too, man. Good to have you guys in there. It's raining, right? Well, we actually have a little bit of a drought here. I'm surprised. Usually when it gets this hot and humid, we usually have all kinds of thunderstorms and weather's like horrendous, man. Have everything from hailstones to like this to golf ball size. So yeah. Yeah, Pete's vlog. Yeah, I don't know about the raid on Area 51. I don't think that's a great idea, and I don't actually see that happening, but never can tell, right? Dennis Brandman, is that buffering you or me? Well, I'm watching myself on another computer here, and it seems to be all right. I don't see any buffering going on. It seems to be pretty tight. What do you guys think? You guys getting any kind of buffering at all, or is it all right? Or maybe it's the weather in your area too. Sometimes it'll affect your internet. You know, it's hard to tell. Let's see. Nice winter morning in Australia, huh? Suzanne Ann. Does it get really, really cold down there, Susan? Nacho Libre's in there. You back, Miss Heard, you lovely lady, and everyone else. Yep, everybody's in the house. Platforms with domes, just the same. Absolutely. Like I said, I'd love to be able to do like I said, categorize that for you guys. Of course, it's a lot of work, you know that, because I mean, I've got X amount of videos and try to break them all down. And it's hard to do that because, you know, you're working, plus you're doing this, and then you try to do something else on the side. You know, it gets crazy. You know, it's like you're just trying to keep up with everything, which is good. I don't mind doing it, but it's like, you know, it does take a bit of time, right? Aditya Tata, do you put on there? You should take a look at every moon of all planets. From what I have every moon and small planets have structured. The older images show it. The newer ones are washed. Absolutely, they are. It's kind of like the one I just did on the moon, where that one there is. I mean, you could just see it as a perfect example of being washed, right? You know, they do a great job. They did a great job of blending these, and I'm almost positive that they've done these over again. Meaning, you know, they probably weren't as good, you know, as far as washing them out. Because think about it. I mean, back then, somebody had asked me this. They said, you know, why show these at all? I mean, you know, if with the chance of somebody seeing them. Well, I don't think they anticipated. Keep in mind, these are back in the 60s, right? And even close to the 70s, where I'm sure when they first got them, you know, they did their magic to them, to use the word magic, not that it's a good thing. You know, they washed them, manipulated them, did whatever they had to do to them. Nobody had a computer back then, at least the general public. And even if you had a computer, which I highly doubt, it was just, you know, basically just numbers and stuff like that. It wasn't anything of any value. And I don't think they anticipated people to start getting Photoshop, scrutinize them, pulling these photos apart. So this is the reason why they probably said, well, you know, we could just doctor up a little bit. Yeah, we could just slide it right through. Nobody's going to be none the wiser, so it's no big deal, right? But now that people have, you know, Photoshop, good computers, HD, this, that, and the other, they're seeing this stuff and they're pulling it apart. So that's the whole idea of it. And I think this is the reason why I don't think, like I said, I don't think they anticipated this at all. I don't know. You guys are getting couple of you guys are getting buffering. TJ Washington, perfect here in Illinois. Awesome. Well, it's like me right now. It's still 92, 93 degrees, but it's not too bad. The humidity, it says heat index 94. So it's not too bad. It's not stifling, but it's up there, right? Hatchet man, everything looks good over here. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm watching right here and I don't see a bit of buffering here, but it doesn't mean it's in some places it's not, right? Easy, Chris. What's happening? Buffering, bro. Well, I don't know. How many more are you guys getting at? I don't see that. At least it's not happening on my end, because like I said, I got to go through the internet and come back to this computer, and it seems to be working fine. Nacho Libre, yeah. Okay, yeah. I just saw Bruce page. He's trying to get a hold of Jimmy Roberts. I was in Kick-Ass channel. You know which one it is. I don't think he wants anything to do with him. Nah, he's not going to have anything to do with him. You know, there's just no way. Jimmy ain't got time for stuff like that. Trust me. Hi from Bangor, Northern Midnight in Wet. Ah, yeah, Paul, I hear you, man. It's like, I think everybody's going to start crying the second it starts getting cold, right? Oh, God, I wish it was hot again. It's like we can never be happy, right? Jose Molina, Chris, have you ever done a analysis on the moon Europa? I'm trying to remember if I have, man. I got over 350 videos. Not that there's a ton of them, but still, I know I've done quite a bit on them. Truthfully, I don't remember. But I'll have to check it out because I know this is what I hate. I mean, you guys know this, right? You could check out a lot of people. I know you guys have been into this too. You're looking at different planets, right? Any picture you can find on the internet, and then you look up the moons. Very, very little of them. And like Titan, look at Titan, and they say that's the best moon for any kind of life, right? And you get like a little swath. It's like it shows the moon itself, and there's this little area about this big that they've got, and even that's blurred. So I mean, it's crazy, right? You just don't get a whole lot of resolution. They're blocking it out. It's like if it's got that kind of, if these cameras are on these orbiters and they're that good, why don't they show it clear? Why is everything blurred? Why is everything big and hidden? There should be nothing there to see, right, guys? Nothing at all. Nothing but planets. Nothing there to see. And yet, this is what we get. Michael Stark, what's up, Chris? Great last moon video. I messed with the pic. What'd you put on there? Just jumped up here. Here we go. I messed with the pic too and was able to bring out large square structure sitting on the side of the left hill. Did you notice that? It's a kind of like a shadowed, isn't it? It's kind of like off. I think I seen it after the fact, but I'm glad you guys are doing this. This is what does my heart good. Listen, it's the fact that I can do these. I'm showing people, look at this is how you can do this, and you guys are taking it and you're running it with yourself. That's what I love about it. My job has been done if I can do that. Because it gets people going, well, listen, I always told people, listen, don't believe a thing I say, don't take it as biblical. Research it yourself, look the stuff over. And if you find something in there, you make your own decisions. If you don't find anything, you don't. You just, simple as that. I'm not here to cram it down people's throats. It's not what it's all about. It's about getting people to say, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, just get your mind to work and say, okay, let me just see for myself. And that's what it's all about, right? So, good on you that you're doing that. Nacho Libre, I appreciate your support, man. That's cool. That's awesome. Highlight of the week, as always. Thanks for all your work. Well, I appreciate you guys being here, man. See, here's the thing: a lot of people, like when I decided to do that moon video, right? When I took the photo first, I looked at it and I said, "Man, it's whited out." You can almost guarantee you're going to find something in that photo. And like I said, I did a quick. Well, I don't know if I'd want to call it a tutorial, but I showed you how I broke that photo down using equalization and then a brightness and then bringing it down, stuff like that, right? And even I was blown away by the stuff I saw, and I didn't think I was going to see that much, to be truthful with you. But you know what? You never know. It's like a Cracker Jack box. You just never know what you're going to find in these photos. And you know what? Boom. I was like, wow, look at this. This is awesome. But if you guys notice, like I said, take any photo, wash it out. Like I said, they used to use acetate over these photos. And you can see where on the right-hand side and the left-hand side, what did it have? It had what looked like an overlay. You can see like a photo over a photo. Well, if you were to take that photo and then do all of the work to it on top and then overlay it and then take another snapshot of it, you've just blocked out everything you need to block out. However, the covering of that photo, no matter how they did it, manipulate it out, it doesn't matter. The whole point is it's not completely taken out. And when you can bring out the actual lines, you bring back the depth. And that's the whole idea of these photos. They're whited out, so everything looks flat, right? You guys seen that. It looked completely flat, nothing there. There's no shadows. There's no any kind of darker areas at all. So everything looks and appears flat. Gives it that 2D look. Once you add the darkness to it, because basically that's what equalization does, it tries to equalize the light as well as the dark. So if there's any dark in it, it tries to bring it out. And that's the whole idea of it. So once you bring that out, there you go. Now you start getting your depth back. And then you can just try to work on what it's grabbed and you try to work on it and try to bring it out. And we were lucky enough to see that. So I'm glad that worked out. You know what I mean? Yes, heard. Thank you very much. You are a true professional and so incredible. Oh, so credible, rather. And I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Here's the thing. Like I said, I never knew. Like I said, I think my very first photo I did of the moon. I was like, well, I don't know why this photo looks so crappy. Because, like I said, I looked at my good friend Ken Johnston Senior's photos. I'm saying, why is it so different compared to the ones I'm seeing on like Flickr? Because you got like all the Apollo missions photos there, right? And when I looked at it, I said, "Oh, wait a minute, what is going on here? Why is there a discrepancy between the uh, the details in the photo, meaning the darkness or the darker areas, the shadowing? Why is there such a difference between what they're trying to show us now, which looks whited out?" Well, there you go. That's what started me into this. And when I started getting into these things, boom, that's when it revealed all. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of these photos are so whited out and so manipulated. You can't get a thing out of them. And you just go, okay, discard it. That's all there is to it. There's nothing there to see. I'm not going to waste your time and I'm not going to waste mine. You know what I mean? That's just the way I look at it. Jay Doodoo Head, I like that. Just curious, ever have dreams of traveling to the moon and Mars? They always seem trippy whenever I do. They're also disappointing because I know it's fake. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure everybody has at one point because some of the things you might have seen in these photos, and you go to bed because that's what you do, right? You dream about the day's events. So if you go to sleep thinking of this, boom, somehow you either think about either going to Mars or, going to the moon and stuff like that. And some of it, yeah, I mean, some people told me, man, it's as scary as hell. Some of the things they've seen in their dreams. Everything from like evil aliens to, things that you just wouldn't expect to see. Oh yeah, crazy stuff. Yes, never miss a single video, even though I have to take a bathroom rest. Hey, I hear that. I tell you what, I mean, I got to sit down and make sure I do all that myself too before I go on with you guys because I don't want to have to get up or cut it short, right? So, yeah, I feel you. Trust me. Natural Libre, what I love about Chris and this channel, always polite, always honest, always answer questions, and it feels like being with family. Thanks for that, Chris. And you know what? I feel the same way. And here's the thing. It's kind of like we're all just sitting in a room, just kind of just throwing ideas around or just talking about whatever, right? So it is. It's more personal, and that's what I like about it. There's, you know, you could lie to people. You can BS them if you like. I'm just not into that kind of stuff. It's like if I'm not gonna keep it real, I'm not gonna do it. It's as simple as that. Let's see. Oh, what was the other one? Let me see. This thing just jumped up on me, so forgive me, guys. I'm just trying to. Susan Ann, you said I have seen a UFO in the '80s in Australia. I seen one back in the '80s as well, and it was next to a park. It was about as far as the crow flies, it was about a half a mile to a mile away. I was at my buddy's house, and we were just sitting there, just kicking it on his porch. We're just kind of chilling out, and I looked, and I could see the tower from his house. This is where the actual slaves came in from underneath. There's like these small tracks that they made like out of these old coal cars, and they would actually bring these slaves in, and they came out through that way. And of course, it's all since been caved in and all that other crap. But the tower itself, it has like a clock on each side, and it has it's just a really large tower at the top of this thing. And I remember seeing these like red and blue lights, and at first I'm going, "What the heck is that?" And it's the way it come off. It didn't just go like this; it went like this, just come off like this here. And that was just bizarre. And right from then on, it was just like, "Yep." I mean, like I said, how do you just sit back at night and look up at the stars and go, "Yeah, yeah, we're the only people around"? Come on. Come on. John Devon, Chris used the jewelry eyepiece. Yes, absolutely. It's a good tool to have. Lucky Mall, Chris, do you think our entire solar system has been mined or excavated in the past? Every planet, moon, asteroid with elements worth grabbing? I think so. We may not see a use for a certain element, but maybe they do. Now, I don't have proof of any kind of mining or anything like that, although there's some photos that we have seen that looks like mining, right? Something like strip mining here we have on Earth. we can see what looks like something very similar to it. So that may be a very good possibility. And some of these planets may offer something Earth don't. The moon may offer something that Earth don't, or does not. So it's hard to tell. I believe a lot has been going on, and I think we're just, like I said, I think if you were to think about it in a way like you're an alien where you're much more technologically advanced, um, I think they could just go around the solar system, go wherever they want, and just grab what they need. It's kind of like what you do with your car. Well, I need fuel. Boom, you hit the gas station, take off, and you're going. So I'm sure it's a lot bigger than that and a lot more extravagant, but you know what I'm saying. I think that may be the case. You know, in fact, it may very well be. Uh, You heard of Alistair Crowley and Jack Parsons, founder of JPL. Alistair Crowley was contacted by an extra dimensional being. They both died mysterious deaths. What do you think? Well, I mean, I've heard about it, but I'm not too familiarized with it. But if they were mystery deaths or mysterious, yeah, you can bet they just whatever somebody found out about it and just said, yeah, they need to be extinguished. Let's just use that term. They had to be whacked, and that was the end of it. And I believe that, you know what I mean? Because some of these people, I'm sure some of them want to tell their stories. And, and if it was depending on how high up they were, JPL, right? You can bet, yeah, they just got silenced. Now, is that true? I don't know. It might have just been mysterious. How many times we heard lately? Actually, it goes back a couple years ago. There was a bunch of scientists that they were going to show about like certain planets or something on the planets that one of them died. I think it was the husband and wife, or just a husband and another co-worker or something. They died in a small Cessna right there in town somewhere, just crashed right into an intersection. There's several other people that died in car accidents, totally mysterious. How do we know, right? Now, there's no way to vet them, but they are mysterious, right? Thomas Morris, what magnitude of magnifying? You can use this small. Like I said, I tell everybody you can get these small jeweler's eyepieces. I've got the 3, 5, and 10 times magnification. And I just hold it like about this much off, maybe a half an inch off the screen. You don't want to go too crazy because then it'll just, you actually see the actual, basically the fabric of the photo and the screen itself, right? Or you can just use your standard magnifier with the small, little magnifier there, which is actually stronger, right? You can use something like that and just go over it real slowly and find some crazy things in these. Hatchet Man, Chris, I've went back and watched every video you have done. I find myself watching them all the time. Well, it goes way back. I started off and, it's funny enough. It's like I look back at them now and I kind of cringe because of the audio I had, the video I had. It was just, but that, the way I look at it is that's how everybody starts off. They just start off and then they hone their skills, right? And they just get better and better at what they do. And I believe that's what I've done. And I know a lot of people who have. So, yeah. What brand of water are you drinking? Sponsored? No, no. I actually tried. I'm a big fan of like iced tea. I don't know about you guys, or just sweet tea rather. And I was like, well, I don't want to keep drinking that because it's loaded with sugar and everything. So now I started this. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the other drink, the other water. It's got just a hint of flavor in it, LaCroix. And I tasted it, and it's like, oh my god, it's absolutely horrible. So I started drinking this hint. Actually, it'll be probably backwards in there, but started drinking this hint, and it's just this is a blackberry, by the way, and it tastes just like water. The only difference is it's got a hint of that blackberry in it. It's awesome. So yeah, no, I wish I was sponsored by them. That'd be great because I'll tell you what, this stuff is good, no doubt. LaCroix, not so much. How people say they like that stuff is beyond me, but I guess you got to acquire the taste, right? Right on as I am. Cheers, Chris. Chat. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. I am, Shep. I hope you are too, man. Yeah, 10 times. Thomas. Yeah, I've got a, let me see if this one here is a 10 times right here. You can see it right there. So I don't know if it'll focus itself. Let's see if it does. Probably won't because I'm way back here. And I got it pretty much manually. But anyway, it's a 10 times. I don't use this. I'll be truthfully, I barely ever use that. 3 and a 5. 3, I usually use the most. 5. And then you can get these things. I think they were like $5 to $7 for the 3 of them. It wasn't really super expensive, James Craigs, you put on there, Chris, man. What about the great video you gave us only the other day? I am talking about the so-called rock, yeah, that is flying through space. Yeah, that's oh my God. There's more than one of them things, and that's the funny part. It's funny how there's so many rocks in like our the Kuiper Belt and so on and so forth, and yet we go after some couple of particular ones, right? And what I find amusing about it is they go after those things and they want to land on them because some of these things are giving off like these weird sounds, weird tones. And what they want to do is they're trying to figure out more about them. Think about it. They want to hone in. So what's making that thing give off a sound like 67p, right? And they made it audible for the human ear. And if you hear the recording of that thing, it's like it's just like a real dulled out Morse code kind of thing. Only it's not quite that, but crazy stuff, man. Um, Do you think these aliens, although technologically advanced, suffer the same as us? I mean, spiritually, as they at the same level? I don't know. I mean, maybe I don't think they've got limitations. I mean, if you're so technologically advanced, they might have in the past. It's like us. Eventually, we'll do the same. We'll get over this monetary crap. We'll get over this depending on natural fuels, right? Or dino fuels, as I like to call it. I think we'll get over that. So at some point we'll do the same. And you got these Dyson spheres supposedly being found. Is it their way of collecting energy from the universe or from the I'm going to use the term void around us, right? Is it possibly they just know how to get this energy? They don't have to depend on that anymore. So there's no more fighting as far as that goes. And if they do it like an old Amish country where they like here, they just get together and they help build. So there is no money. It's just like they just kind of like barter and stuff like that, and they just so on and so forth. I think they're well past that, and they might have been like that in the past, though, right? Um, I have 76 auto. Yeah, I have Peria. Yeah. We have that as well in the store. I actually stock for. It's actually pretty good stuff. I like it too. It's got a good taste to it. And this is the weird thing. You see these companies claiming, like Dasani. I call them dishonest because basically they got busted too. They're one of the companies that got busted about saying, "Oh, it's all natural from natural springs." Bull. They're basically filtering all this stuff out. Water should not have a flavor. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a natural spring, and I'm talking about natural now. I went to one time. I tasted it. It was cold right from the ground. Had no taste whatsoever. I didn't even know what to make of it. I was like, "What is that?" Your mind cannot wrap itself around because you're so used to having taste that when you taste it, there's no taste. You just go, "I'm confused." Your brain kind of stumbles on it, right? Uh, Are the aliens actual humans, humanoids related to us? If you're talking about, I don't know about the ones on the moon, but I think if it's any of them, like we were talking about Mars before and how we might have been the original inhabitants on that planet. And of course, we had well, they had that great catastrophic event. And then, of course, we made it here to Earth trying to escape of it. And, escape it, not everybody did. But now we're here. That's only just a possibility, right? Um, and if they're able to fly from planet to planet, it might be the same ones that were on the moon, or they started from the moon and worked their way out, got into the solar system somehow. I think me personally, I think they're a lot like us. Why do I say that? Because I think a lot of them, if you look at the destruction on Mars, they got things that are very similar to what we have here on Earth. So that means that's what makes you think: were we there first, found a way here to Earth? Or were we living on both at some point in time? And we used to shuttle back and forth. And then, of course, that one, but still, you still have to ask, where do we come from first, right? It's crazy when you try to go back in time and try to figure this out. And that's what I think, that's what it's all about, right? That's pretty good stuff. Aditya Tata, yeah. What do you think about Nestle water? It's actually pretty good stuff. I'm not a big fan. I mean, I've had it. It's not bad. I can't say that it's bad, but like I said, I started drinking this with a little bit hint of taste. Because I don't know about you guys, man. I just love taste. So when I had this, and this got zero anything, like the other one, the LaCroix, and it said 0 calories, zero this, zero that. And I said, yeah, zero taste. It was absolutely horrible. Do you think Trump's interested in aliens or just been kept from, just kept from? I don't know. I think any president who wants to try to ask, they can ask all they want, but I think the higher ups, I'm talking about the people who are above the president. They just go, no, ain't going to happen. It's just, you're on a need to know basis, just like the public. John Beck, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. You're unmasking of what they are hiding. Rocks. Well, I appreciate that. And somebody else said, "Don't show me another photo too." And they said, "Oh man, you've got to see this, man. You've got to do your magic on this, man." So, yeah, I mean, I'd love to do that. The way it's some of these photos. I mean, if you just see some of them, I laugh at some of them because they're literally so whited out, you can't see anything in them. It's like you see like the either the capsule or the LEM coming back. And it's just funny because you just don't see anything. Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, it's crazy. Yeah, because water out of the faucet, I guess it has fluoride, chlorine, or chloramine. Yeah, absolutely, Daniel, you're right. And I didn't mean, I get water out of the tap, but I filter it. I've got one of those. It's like a Brita filter, but it's got 5 filters built into one. So, so if it's going to kill me, it's going to kill me slowly, right? Kurt Stover, you put on there, have you found any more cities hidden in the Mars backgrounds and really enjoyed the video you did last week and have done several things with some pictures myself? Well, good for you, Kurt. Kudos to you for doing that. I haven't yet, but there is a lot of things in the background that you see in the backs of these things. And like on Mars, you see they look like mountains, kind of like we did here on the moon, where it looks like a mountain, but they're not mountains. They're literally, like I said, they could draw over. Let's say you got like a structure. I'm just a square structure you'd see here on Earth. All right, now take it and just draw over it like this and just fill it all in, go over it. And you got this, what looks like a mountain. It's pretty simple to do, right? Okay. But they don't quite go over it heavy. So this is the reason why you can bring out the lines. And this is the reason why we can at least make out shapes. May not be able to bring out what exactly it is, but you go, why is that shape in such this mountain that's just supposed to be a mountain? Simply makes no sense, right? So yeah. It's funny you said that. What did you put? This thing just jumped up. 321 cat box. Yeah, La Croche, that's what I called it. It's exactly what I called about it. Yeah, misheard. I said the same thing. Yeah, zero taste. And it's true. And I shouldn't say that because it wasn't zero taste at all, believe it or not. It was so harsh, it literally tastes like metal. It was just like there's so much carbonation and so little taste. It was just, I don't know. Like I said, has anybody else had drank that stuff? Because all I can say is my condolences to your taste buds because it's trash. At least for me. At least that's my opinion. Maybe Jimmy was played. The guy didn't seem real. Maybe a disinformant. Okay. You were replying, Lucky Mo. You were replying at Kenneth Riley. I have thought about getting a fluorine water filter, to trap out as much as I can. But a lot of times I get, like I said, these here. They're already pretty much filtered a lot of times. And so I don't mind doing that. I drink out of, the filter one I have, but not a whole lot. $786 Otto. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. You guys rock. I can't explain it. Every time I see pictures of Mars, I get haunted feeling that they were nuked and I did not think they'd done it themselves. I have no evidence of this, just my theory. And Daniel, you may be right. We talked about this before where, like I said, it was Dr. John Brandenburg who said that, he's an amateur astronomer back in the day and he was looking through, he was at what the heck is this? He was looking through the telescope in 1941. He's seen these big flashes over, or it was actually in the Martian atmosphere. And funny enough, this is what I'm saying. I don't think it's been that long ago that all of this went down. Now, there was one larger explosion and one smaller one, and funny enough, was right there in right there in the Cydonia region where they had the big face. And again, I've said this many times. If you look out where the Curiosity rover is, it's just south of that area. And they had one, and I keep forgetting the name of it, but it's right on the right of that south. Well, it's going to go this way for you guys, but anyway, it's just like south or just sort of right and south of Cydonia. There was a smaller explosion. These weren't on the ground; they were midair, and that's what I think devastated the planet. And these things were huge. And what's funny enough is, a lot of people ask me, if this happened millions of years ago, why would this stuff even be around? Because it does have weather on Mars, right? So the stuff would have been eroded, this, that, and the other, had windstorms, the whole 9 yards. So if that's the case, why is this stuff still evident? Because I don't think it happened that long ago. Could the 1941 is what we're seeing from that point on, and not millions and thousands of years ago? Think about it. Actually, man, you're right about that. Nothing like galvanized pipe water. Yeah, it tastes like ass, to be truthful with you. Water in England is tasteless. That's the way it should be, man. That's exactly the way it should be. Should not taste water, man. Kenneth Riley, check out the real Jimmy Roberts recent video interview. I'm sorry. Would just like to hear someone. Yeah, I mean, Jimmy does good work. I like Jimmy. He's good people. And he's just shoots from the hip, tells it like it is. That's the way everybody should be. And I watch a lot of his stuff. I'm subbed to him as well. And he's got good stuff. What can I say? I mean, it's just point blank. He just, you can just see the way he goes, this stuff, he says, and he'd tell you right out, you're delusional if you think these are all rocks, so on and so forth. And he's right. Absolutely right. Now, some people won't believe that. Oh, no, you guys are not seeing anything. You're just seeing rocks. Hey, listen, if you don't want to further investigate them, it's like I said about me. It's like, people, you can watch my videos. Don't take them as biblical. Go ahead and research it yourself. You may find, yeah, he's full of it. I don't see anything either, even after I looked. Okay, well, that's your decision. But if you look it up and you go, I'll be damned. Well, there you go. Make up your own decision. That's what it's all about. Green tea is good. Sweet tea is better. At least I think so. Problem is it's addicting. Got that caffeine going on, sugar. Basically, you're tweaking after that and you want to paint the garage. Let's see. Renee Cruz, I'll be at Roswell UFO Museum. Little Alien, Stranger Universe, Strange World, Rocks Bear. Sweet. Reporting live. Let's see. American Rebel. Yes, sweet tea. Absolutely. He has Nacho. Kicked off. They start. The trolls come in. Oh, yeah. More caffeine and tea than coffee. Yeah, you got that right, man. Some of this stuff is brutal. What is that? That one, it's a green leaf tea, whatever it is. Love that stuff, man. Whew. Man, you get it's like the real super sweet one. Wow. Make you hot want to come out of your chest. I should have played heavy metal, not the lame Bowie. Exactly. Zoopet, love your channel. Thank you. Well, thank you. Appreciate you saying that. Oh, is that right, Miss Heard? Yeah, saw him too. That person is BSA. It wouldn't surprise me. It's the other white meat, douchebag and a half. This is what's funny. Once in a while I watch his live streams because I just need a good laugh. And I don't know if you guys caught this, but this is hilarious. I almost died laughing. And I had to write this down. This is great. He was talking about the moon. Now get this. I want you guys to pay attention to this. He said, and I quote, "They say it's tidal locked because the moon is there, locked because of the tides." Now, he goes on to say, what would happen if the tides were to rise excessively, a lot more? Would the moon come closer? If there's no water on the moon, is the moon going to fade away? So there are things that don't coincide with reality, like your brain. Science itself is a theory. You don't get to disprove or just shut off science. Snap a face. You don't get to do that. Okay, it's about finding the truth, testing hypotheses. It's about peer review. You don't just get to shut off science like you're just master of everything. Um, but I was listening to this guy and I'm going, and they call him the Moon Man. Seriously? Wow. You've got to be kidding me. I almost died. I almost fell off the back of my chair here. I was like, did he just say what I think he just said? That the tides control the moon? How about if we go to the moon, Bruce, and just go open that air valve? Is it gonna fly off too? He says, "Oh yeah, it'll eventually crash into Earth." No, it's actually moving an inch away every year. Okay, this is guys, the moon and tides. This is like fifth grade science 101. I'm just confused. When I listened to this, I said, and people follow him. There's only one person that said that's back asswards. The moon causes the tides. Only one person questioned it, and they at least they had their head on straight and questioned it. They didn't really question it; they just said it's just ass backwards. And I went, "Why? Listen, Earth, Moon. It's constant tugging back and forth. When the moon is here on this side of the Earth, it literally pulls on the water. Okay, so you get a high tide or whatever. Well, at the same time, the moon is pretty much drawing the Earth, so you get a tide on this side as well. So you get two tides during the day. That's what happens. The tides are going to affect the moon. Are you? Wow. I almost died. I'm saying, and these people are following him blindly, like he's the master of everything. What they don't realize, his own subs don't realize, is that you go. This is what's funny. Telescope. Okay, let's take the camera off it, set it aside. You got an eyepiece. In fact, I think I got one. This snaps in the back of. By the way, you guys like my shirt? Guess where that's from? Here's the eyepiece. Snaps in the back of the telescope, right? And of course, you get your eyepiece. And of course, you can take this off. You can see there's a 2x Barlow here, which is basically nothing more than a magnifier. Just magnifies the image you're seeing through the eyepiece. And so you basically look through this thing and you just point it at the moon. This is not complicated. Now you take a $5,000 camera and you strap it to where this would go and put it in there with an adapter, and you just zoom in. Ooh, this is major like technological advanced bullshit going on. Come on, stop. It's funny how people follow this guy blindly, like he knows everything. He doesn't know. It's Bruce deceives all. It's crap, and then he's knocking people. This is what's funny. I actually had faith in Dollar at one point, and she was like, I don't know who to believe. And of course, I knew who she was going to believe. But what I found was amusing is that he was getting attacked by some trolls. Now, he did mention some people on here as well about, whatever. He was mocking them and all this other crap. And then she says, are these other trolls here to, and Chris, I don't know if she said something along supporting Chris or whatever. I'm going, I'm not even against that crap. You know what I mean? I don't even believe in that crap. But it's sad that people actually will believe that. He's got everybody believing that he's being attacked. And it's nobody's attacking him. And if they're attacking him, it's because they just don't believe in what he's doing. That's all. That's all there is to it. Yeah, exactly. Bruce must be on dope or something. If he's not, he needs to be. Kenneth Riley, who is he? He's on Bruce Deceives All. You can just check him out. Bruce believes the entire moon is surrounded by an ocean atmosphere, hence his reasoning explanation for why his footage is blurry. No, it's not properly aligned mirrors in your telescope. That's first and foremost. Secondly, you're trying to overexceed the limitations of your camera by zooming in too much. Yeah. Yeah, Bolshevik, yeah. Surveillance agency, yeah. Listen, I mean, it's like he throws these little digs in. It's like, it's like egghead and all this. It's like, what are you, 12? I mean, seriously, stop. Come on. Damn, thought it was a lifesaver. You and Jimmy Roberts, I'm sorry, the ones that turned me from being a skeptic. Well, Daniel, it's like, like I always say, the proof is in the photos themselves, right? You can get them yourself and look them over. And when you see it yourself, that's when you're just mind blown. The first time I seen it, like I said, my buddy Will was doing these too when he started making videos, or he was doing videos at the time, rather. I've been looking at photos long before I did these, and I decided to watch his videos. That's what he got me turned on to start doing these, right? Excuse me. So I was like, I want to check out my own photo. Maybe these things aren't in here. Maybe they're just trash. Maybe this guy's full of it, right? So I decided to look at it myself. And I said, I'll be damned. There's stuff in here he didn't even see, which is not generally a bad thing because he was focused on other things in the photo to bring to his subs. You can't fault him for that. So when I seen something in there, I could see what looked like lines, like things were being covered up, like on the ground. It looked like something square on the ground, but yet it was the same texture as the ground itself. Wait a minute, how can that possibly be? So bringing these lines out, there was much more things in these areas. Because like I said, you can clone any area, right? Just clone an area, just drop right on top. But if you don't have it thick enough, then these lines can still be dragged out, right? If camo dudes in Air Force, military, Chinook helicopters are there pointing guns, saying go home, nothing to see here, then I'll just grab Obby sandwich and watch rock bands playing in the desert. There you go. Good way of looking at it. Let me see. Oh, I know, Nacho. Yeah. Shh, Bruce says you don't know anything about telescopes. Yeah, I know. Because you know why? He's the aficionado. Shh, he knows everything. He don't. Like I said, any of his subs could have gotten the same setup he's got and do the same work. He's not doing anything. The biggest work he's doing is all his editing and zooming into like pixelation and compression artifacts. I mean, there's people who have done a comparison to different craters where he's enhanced and say, oh, these structures here, and then done other photos showing it's nothing more than a crater wall. But he zoomed in so far that it actually pixelated and compressed, where you start to see the edge of these hills or mountains on the crater wall suddenly turn square. It doesn't make them a structure. Well, you know. Yes. Ian Walton, hey, when you look at the moon, think of this: the truth never alters, only one's perception of it. That's true. Yes, Christy, the moon is blurry because it's our own light source that produces warm temperature. Well, it's between warm and cold fronts. You got atmospheric distortions. Yeah, I mean, and it's like saying water over us, and then he's saying water from the moon to Earth, and man, got to get off that shit. Hatchet man, I could doodle a picture on a piece of paper, and it would look better than his trash. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Photography, light, and magic. You said, have you ever considered why the aliens chose the side of the moon we never see? Absolutely, because that's exactly what it is. We never see it. And although we can find things on there on the side that faces us, the other side, because who knows? This might have been well thought out, right? In other words, let's say they're much larger structures, for argument's sake, because I can't vet that. I can't say whether there is or isn't. But if they are and they're much larger, you're going to see them much easier. That's all there is to it. So with that in mind, knowing that it's locked, it does not rotate, then they've got it made. They just fly behind there, do all they got to do, and then they just keep an eye on what's going on here. I mean, how do we know? Amazed your response to Bruce. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I just I hate to just even talk about him, to be honest with you, but you know a bullshit is a bullshitter. I hate to say that, but it is what it is. You know, Yeah, he's fake. Lied about being hacked to get subs, money, etc. Oh yeah, he's pulling the wool over these people's eyes, and it's a shame because there's a lot of good people there. You know what I mean? And I know some of you guys are sub to him as well as me, and it's sad that he's got to pull these antics and all these charades to get extra money. Oh, guys, you don't understand. Now my what do you say? My AdSense is down, and again, let's go back to his mouth. If he hadn't started all this never would have happened. Like I said, where I come from, don't start shit, won't be shit. That's all there is to it. It's as simple as can be, man. That's all there is to it. Tried asking Bruce a question on his city mapping of the moon. Was a dick about? Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. And I kind of got a chuckle at it because he just said, "Well, I don't call it debates or yelling or arguing. I call them debates." No, it's not. When you take a person and you totally trash them because they asked you a simple question or they differ from your perception, and then they ask you and they call you out on it, and you completely verbally beat them up. No, that's not a friendly conversation, or is it a debate? It's called trashing somebody. That's not right. And then he wonders why these people go on this channel and trash him. You just can't figure it out. Exactly, 357, Robbie. Yeah, juvenile bullshit. Too much real information that needs disseminating. Yep, to concentrate on that. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. But I just like I said, I go on there sometimes and I'll just listen to the BS, man. Get it? BSA. You listen to him and he just throws these little tiny little digs, man. Just dig. Like, guys, you don't understand. I'm being attacked. Money, please. It's like, stop it. Yeah, American Rebel. He's going to do that to you, man. For some reason, he says he doesn't block people. He's never blocked me. He keeps claiming. He even throws it even now. Oh, he's never blocked me. Bull. Been blocked since day one. Even though and this is long before I did have him on my live stream. So what's that tell you? You know what I mean? The guy did it, and then he completely blocked me when I tried to comment on it. You know why? He didn't want my name on his comment section. He didn't want that. Why? Because it would take the focus off of him, and he didn't want that. So, he's like, oh, well, they'll go to another channel. I can't have that and, be sporting him. I don't care who goes to what channel. If you guys are on my channel, you go to his or anybody else's, God bless you, go for it. I don't have a problem with that. It's your decision. I got no reason to say anything bad about somebody. You do what you got to do. If you find his work interesting, then go for it. You should. But the second you just disagree just a little bit, forget it, you're done. Or either that he has these other people that literally block you on your comment section. They're just people just on the ready to go click and just take you right off. But no, nobody's doing that. That's what he claims. Let me see. That's not a bad idea, Christine. Just buy an Icon P1000. Don't think it hasn't crossed my mind. If unidentified flying objects isn't a security issue, I don't know what is. Absolutely, Scott. You're right about that. When them things are flying around the White House and stuff like that, darn well that was like, full on military scrambled, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, I think they know that they're powerless against, these other beings, and they just don't know what to do. They could probably just wipe us out just like that if they wanted to, but I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the way they view us. I think at some point, if they wanted to, and they just say, "Oh, these people are getting really out of control," and then we're just going to just take them out, just going to annihilate them, and I think they could do it with ease. Yeah, I know I was going to buy a 900 at one point, Chris, and I decided I might even actually go for the P1000. But those things are close to about, I think, what, $800-900, I think? They're insanely expensive, but I've seen one actually in person. They're awesome, man. They're just, the zoom on the things are insane. Do you think full disclosure will destroy religion? No, I don't really think so. because anybody knows, like, if you're heavily into the Bible, your beliefs are strong and everything else. I mean, what's missing? I mean, if God created us, then God created all, right? Because He did create the universe. So I don't think it would. I honestly don't think it would, because they would just say, okay, that's just other beings that God Himself made, right? So I don't think it would. I really don't. Dennis, I agree with you. I love you, brother, but Bruce, blah blah blah. You're right about that. Real Drake, Chris, what's up? What's going on, man? Yeah, John, Lemon, and yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm sub to him, but I've lost interest. Yeah, really not showing anything spectacular, guys. Come on. I saw one video this one much from Jimmy Roberts had alien spaceships. They look like all around the moon. Right, right. It was all on the right hand side of the moon. Remember that? Where he actually brought up the brightness and you can see what looks like a bunch of things just like literally orbiting the moon. That was pretty crazy. Oh yeah, he did his fair amount of bashing there, misheard. You know that. Oh yeah. See what he's like I said, what he hopes to do is just like, tell all of his subs so this way you got all his trolls that can just go attack all the people he's mentioned. That's his whole idea. So he can just sit back and let them do the dirty work. So Ian Walton, hi Chris from Australia. Have you had any luck finding the long 100-mile cities on the moon? No, I haven't seen any of that. I know somebody had done a video about that and it would look like it stretched across. Um, and I'm not sure this is the one now, but the one I saw, it looked like a stitch line, which looks like the photo is overstitched, like it's overlaid instead of being stitched together like this. It was kind of like overlaid. That's the one I saw. I'm not sure the one you're talking about, but if that's the one, yeah, it's basically a stitched line of the photos. Oh, that's awesome, Phil. I posted a vid of images of the moon the girls and I have captured using a 5-inch Celestron Astromaster 130 EQ MD with the Samsung phone taped to the 10 millimeter. Yeah, you can do that. You don't really need something super large to do this, right? Um, Good stuff, man. I'm glad you guys are doing that. And good for you, man, having your kids look into this stuff because it's just awesome. It's not something kids get to see every single day, man. And when you show them that, they're just like, oh my God. I mean, again, yeah, they could be playing, they could be doing things, playing in the dirt, they could be doing all kinds of stuff. That's exciting. But when you show them the moon, that's not something they get to see every day. Well, you can now, right? Because you got the telescope. Um, but that's neat. I'm glad you're actually basically showing them more of their interest. You're helping them out with it, which is cool. Yeah, you're right about that, Nacho. You're right. Hatcher Man, Chris, I can't wait for the next rover drone to hit Mars so you can get some of the NASA's work and show us what's really there. You know what? I'd be interested to see what they're going to do because although this thing can take literal videos as well, that drone, and you've seen the drone, guys. I think you guys seen it. It's pretty darn big size. It ain't this little thing flying around. It's good size. Um, so I can't wait to see that either. I'm kind of curious if they're going to show any videos, which I don't believe they will, only because the Curiosity rover is capable of that, and even the 2020 is going to be capable of that. HD photos cost the camera's going to be much larger. I don't know if they're supposed to be 12 or 20 megapixel. Maybe you guys read that too, and you can correct me on that. But between that, much larger, they're going to be able to take much larger photos. I can't wait for that. And but as far as streaming, or I shouldn't say streaming, but actual video, I'm not going to hold my breath on that either. But I'd be curious to see what kind of, what do you guys think? You think you'll see any kind of aerial views? In other words, like hovering over the Curiosity? You think you'll see any of that? Something tells me you won't. And the only reason why you won't is because right now, hell, like I said, from the high-rise camera on board the MRO can take, like I said, a 4-foot swath on the ground. That's how much you can zoom in. And the exact words were unprecedented detail, yet I have never seen it. Have you guys ever seen something that close? Never. I've seen where they showed like a speck and it looked like a pixel. Now, that was the rover on this great vast land. Now, why don't they zoom into it? Because you'd see exactly what's laying around the thing. That's why. Pete Vlogs, do you think the Men in Black watch your videos? I would think so. I know for a fact they watch Secure Team very close. Yeah, I mean, I think they would. If when I say watching them, they're probably just going, let's see what he pulls out of the next photo. I mean, they're not going to do anything. I don't believe that's the case because they would have done it a long time ago to people like Richard Hoagland. Anybody who's a whistleblower, meaning top end, whistleblowers, they would have done, them in a long time ago, right? So people, small fish like me, they're not even going to bother. And if anything, they do things like, use them as a pawn, just, let them show this stuff. Maybe it'll help desensitize, do a little slow disclosure, whatever. And that's not just talking about me. I'm talking about a lot of people. Yeah, absolutely, Phil. Drop the link, man. This way I can, I'll show everybody the video you had taken. Exactly, Hatchet Man. Yeah, it drives me crazy that they won't show us pictures of the final resting place of those rovers. Now, they'll tell you where they actually died, meaning the last photos taken and so on and so forth, but you never see like a real up close view of it. Again, they never show like the satellite view, like really on top of this thing, literally buried. If they showed like the Spirit rover where it literally dug itself in, they said it got buried and couldn't get out. But like I said, I'd done a video on that where it looked like it got hung up. Or at least and the Opportunity rover got basically dusted over on its, that major dust storm they had. And it basically covered the solar panels. They couldn't recharge enough. So therefore it was dead. I don't believe that. Something tells me that's not the truth. I think these things are still actually, driving around, or at least the Spirit rover. I think that one's completely, it's actually got locked into something. Like I said, I've done a video on that where it looked like a piece of steel locked into the wheel itself, and it got hung up on it. Can't get off of it. Or it did. I don't know. I have a funny feeling, like I said, these rovers were capable of like they put like a skin on the skin of the actual solar panels. They would put electrical charge on there to blow the dust right off these things. So the fact that they couldn't do that when it started getting dusty, the storm came, maybe it buried it too quick. I don't know. But if you got a light dust, you can literally just basically repel the dust by this static they can build up on top of these solar panels. And yet they haven't been able to do that. So I don't know. Robert Morgan, Chris, why not ask JPL and NASA for an up-close, totally clear and unredacted photo of Curiosity and Opportunity rovers? I haven't, but other people have, and they just go, yeah, whatever we give the public is what you get. I mean, that's just the way they look at it. It's crazy. They will not give you, I mean, you can get you can ask for certain photos and they'll give them to you, but they're not any better than what you're seeing. It might be a slightly different angle or whatever, but it's really not all that great. James Craig, the sun is 400 times bigger at its equator than the moon. The moon is 400 times further from the sun. The moon is exactly 2,160 miles from its equator. That's how we get the get the eclipse by accident. Yeah, right. Well, and that's exactly what it is. That's what's puzzling to scientists because they're like, yeah, how does this just fall completely perfectly right in place and completely block it out? Is there a reason why they do that? Is it a reason why? Is it designed to do that where it literally blocks out? Does something go on every time there's an eclipse? What do you guys think? Or if it's just nothing, it's just more than nature just kind of aligning. What do you guys think about that? John Lemon, yeah, you put on the Alien Hunter, put out some great vids, no commentary though. No, he doesn't, but he usually puts music with his. But he does a lot of good stuff. Now he'll take a lot of these Apollo missions and LRO photos and go real up close, and you can see some phenomenal things sometimes in these photos. You're just like, whoa, you have to pause it and go back. Yeah, he does great work, man. Like you said, no commentary, but he does. He just has music on there, and sometimes he'll do like a video that has like a montage of like all kinds of like videos he might have put together and man, I think I seen one that was like 3 hours long. I was like, whoa. Yeah, pretty cool. Pete's Vlogs, thank you very much, man. Appreciate you. You have such credible videos. Well, like I said, I bring out the anomalies the best I can. And then sometimes, some people have different interpretations about it, or they see something extra. Like, what was that thing you guys had seen on the last moon I did? You said something about, and I know what you're talking about now because I seen it to the right of what looked like that weird ramp. It looked like there's a car there. Now I'm not saying it was a car because if you look at it carefully, it looked like it had two circles, but it looked like it had like a pipe type nose to it. So I'm not sure what to make of that thing. A couple of you guys said, "Oh man, no, you don't understand. It looked like a car," and it did because it kind of had these two round things, and like I said, it had that what looked like a pipe type nose type thing. I don't know how to even explain that, but it was pretty cool. Yeah, Robert. Yeah, people have done that. They've actually requested it, and like a lot of times they'll get the photos, um, and they'll get them, and they're like really good quality, but you can still see they've been messed with. So it's like you'll never get the actual real photo, the unedited. We'll use the term. So yeah, to me, it's frustrating because I want like everybody else here. I want give me something that's unredacted, give me the real deal. But you know what? I think especially some of the things on the moon, I think it would freak some people out. I mean, if you could actually see their untouched photos and just see what they saw, like the literally, and I'm not talking about LRO photos either. I'm talking about literally what the Apollo mission scene, what they with their own cameras, what they took, the Hasselblads, when they took those photos, my God, they must have been insane when they seen them things. They must have been like, wow, like totally frightened in a sense. And again, look at the press conference when they came back, right? Totally freaked them out. Man, I think Spirit was attacked by something because if you look at the video you did of where it got stuck, it looks like a single footpath going away from it. Yeah, I think you're not the only one that said that. It looked like something was like went to and fro from it. I mean, it was just crazy how that looked, and I'm going really, and I had to take another look at it. And you're right. And I don't know if it was actually footprints, right? But something looked like it either. Now I don't know if it was a trail from the actual rover, something put that there, or it was dragging something. I don't know, but it was kind of weird, man. Oh, where'd it go? This thing just jumped up on me again. Um, oh, Mito XL, you have eagle eyes. Thanks. Well, I try. That's what these are for. Get the best. I got 20/20 vision, guys, but as far as reading glass, I need reading glasses, which is not really a big deal, right? But HD monitor, good glasses, boom, crystal clear, stuff like that. Yeah, you're right about that, John Lemon. Yeah. Um, Alien Hunty definitely loves Pink Floyd. My kind of guy. Pink Floyd. Why won't they? Why won't it let me post a link for you to look at? I don't know. You should be in there. It should go on there. All right. Nice one, mate. Cheers. Hey, Paulo De Silva. Good to see you in there, man. John, I'm going to check out your stuff later, Dennis said. Let me see. Dennis, thank you. Mr. Wayne, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate you. Thanks for everything you do, Chris. Well, I appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, without you guys, I wouldn't be here, right? Simple as that. Can't do videos if nobody's going to watch them. That's cool. Misheard. I didn't see him actually do that. Alien Hunter made a video live stream per my request today. Awesome faces on Venus. That's cool. He does good work. I'd love to see him like branch out and do a lot more stuff like that. That'd be awesome. Julian Bloom, you put on there, Blum. That comment was crazy. It looked mechanical. Yeah, I mean, if you actually look at a lot of those, there's a lot of photos, excuse me, you can find where it's actually, it's because it rotates, right? So you can see like different sides of this thing. And a lot of it, if you look at it real closely, it's got what looks like pipes, weird framework sticking out of it, just crazy stuff, which Jimmy Roberts had done as well. And sort of like pipes and stuff sticking out at the very top, at the edge of it. Crazy stuff, man. James Greggs, I'm sorry, I hear you, man. I truly believe that the moon is by design. Smash them like buttons and share, guys. Come on. Yep, 79 likes, 130 people watching so far. Doom Punk, what's going on? Good afternoon, everyone, he says. Good to see you there, Doom Punk. Robert, like I said, you can do that. You can do like the Information Act type thing. You can actually request the photos. I'm trying to remember his name, that he had done that himself. And he gets really, really good quality photos. But again, if you zoom into them, you can see exactly where they manipulated and actually obfuscated some of these areas on this on these moon photos, right? And it's frustrating. Like I said, I mean, I look at these things, I go, yes, this is awesome. And then I look at them closely and they just crap, complete crap. Scott Schmier, I think it is. Live long and prosper. Human use logic. Logic. They aren't telling you the truth. Oh yeah, definitely not. You know. It's evident through the photos just by taking the photos apart. You can see that, right? So yeah. Oh yeah, you're right about that, Scott. They will lie to your face. Why the hell would they not lie about it to some aliens? Yep, couldn't have said it any better. Exactly, Dennis. You're right. And, this is the reason why I try to go through videos fast, because I try to cram as much information as I can. Because you said, on there, no offense, but by the way, you explain things so thoroughly. If you did everything on the picture, we'd be there for 3 hours. And I've actually said it on some of my videos. I said, man, it would just take me a long time to do it. So I try to do, like I said, I'll try to do the major things that I see in the photo. And many of you guys have said, man, you totally missed this. Why did you miss this? And it's only because I've seen the things that stuck out for me the most. And then, and then I just convey them to you, right? But what I love about it is you guys will actually say, man, you missed it. Why didn't you see this? And the thing is, you guys had seen the stuff, and I'm not even mentioning some of this stuff. So, that's why I say kudos to you guys for actually, really scrutinizing these photos as well. It's not just me doing this, it's you guys as well. And that's what makes it all worth it. Maybe default set to not allow. It shouldn't be. At least not on my end. Well, that wouldn't surprise me, Mr. Wayne. You put on your YouTube things, the links are spam. Would not surprise me in the least bit. Nacho, you put on there. My wife just woke up and came in to my office, said, "Oh my God, you alien lower with your second family again? Huh? She says hi. Well, tell her we said hello, and hope we didn't wake her up. And Geoff Grummy, hello. What's going on? Good to see you in there. Well, somebody's hungry. They're showing a bunch of it looks like a Big Mac and fries. Yeah, John. John Devon. Yeah, you were saying replying to Dennis. Yeah, we will watch for hours, and Chris will take hours days to explain it all. And the thing is, I like to be thorough because a lot of people. I've noticed this in the past. This is what was weird when I would do a video. People would go, "But you really didn't explain it. You just kind of showed us what it was. What do you think it was?" And then they would ask me, "How'd you get this out of the photo?" So what I try to do is combine them and kind of do like an education thing, but actually show the anomalies as well. So, excuse me. So this is the reason why I decided to do that and try to be a little bit more thorough on the videos. Yeah, so that may be my downfall a little bit. But other than that, most people are like, man, the longer the better, man. I love it. All of us here will be or have been thrashed. Well, like Miss Heard, like I said, yeah. I don't, like I said, I don't condone people attacking other channels, which I've been attacked by his trolls. I know it for a fact. I mean, I'm not blind. I can see them. In fact, I've been on his channel and seen the same people come over to my channel. So I know it's there. It's from his channel. Like I said, he just sit back and let everybody do the dirty work while he sits there and just stirs it up. But that's fine because I'm not being swayed by him in any way, shape, or form. I think it's hilarious and very childish. But like I said, but you guys do have the right to protect yourself. So if he says anything bad to you guys or whatever, then just report him. That's all. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh, I wasn't saying anybody in particular. And so we're not trolls. Oh, no, I'm not talking about my subs. Trust me. Maybe 0303 must get back to work. Cheers, all. Well, good having you in there. Glad you stopped in. Hatchet Man, we are a community here. I love everyone in here that wants the truth. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Everybody basically shares the same mindset where they're looking for the truth. They enjoy looking at the photos. They enjoy looking at it themselves and further investigating other than what I or other people, other channels do. And the ones that investigate, those are the ones I give props to, not the ones that just just mindless people just, oh, okay, yeah, he's right. Because here's the thing. It's like, if everybody did that, then nobody, would excel, meaning nobody would actually get smarter. It's like I said, if you haven't learned something new every day, or at least something new a day, then you stop growing, right? So Renee, you put on there, remember everyone to share, hit and smash the thumbs up, like the sub notification bell button, support ufologist Chris by Mars Anomalies and Beyond. UFO t-shirts and donate Patreon, PayPal, super chats, all that other good stuff. Funny enough, believe it or not, I've got a Patreon page. I've never just made it live. I haven't done it. And I've had that since 2017. Never done it. It's just sitting idle, not doing anything. B Diggity, you put, how can I donate? Well, some people they're just going down to the bottom there where it shows a little smiley face and a dollar sign. You can click on that. And I guess I'm not sure. I've never done it myself. I've done some other channels where I actually done this myself, but some people said it's different. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the way they're donating the money. I'm not sure. But like Chris Steed said, hit the little dollar sign at the bottom. Mine was pretty straightforward. Just click, boom, boom, just went right through. So some people say they have problems, or it's just weird for them how they try to do it. I don't know. I haven't had that problem. Have any of you guys? Or anomalies in extraterrestrial alien UFO merge gear. Yeah. Yep. I've been thinking about that too. Matthias Wise or Wheeze. I'm going to say it's Wise, but what is the fuzz all about then? All the cover up, if you're right. Why would they do that? Well, it's to hide basically what's in the photo, right? Um, it's not just one particular thing. It's not just a simple spot blurring. It's not simple digitization. You can see like little digital squares and stuff. They literally put over something that has like small detail. Um, they literally would take the texture of like the ground and they'll take it and cut and paste it right over an object. But it's not done very well where you can actually still see the object. Sometimes they will literally cover something out, and what it'll do is they'll have like quarter of it, still showing the rest of it out, which is really weird. But that's how you can tell. Sometimes they just do a sloppy job. They just go through it, and that's the end of it. And they just figured, well, as long as you can't see the whole object, you're not going to know what it is. So therefore, they've done their job, right? Nacho Libre, you put on there, click on the $ beneath where you text. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for the support. Need to disable ad blocker to donate first, at least to have to do it. Oh, I wasn't aware of that. 76 auto. So if you have an ad block, you got to definitely shut that off anyway. Yeah, Robert, I'm not aware of that either. Sign up on interface by at WinHub and use their button to receive one-time and recurring donations at a lower cost than Patreon, Super Chat, PayPal, etc. James Greggs, Chris, man, again, I like to say that your website and the Hangouts and weekly videos all of the time are, without doubt, the top of the range. Well, I appreciate it, James. As always, good to hear your comments and stuff like that. I know a lot of you guys are on the actual videos themselves commenting, which is great. Borg, not both. Dang spell check. I know how you feel, man. I've done it. You go, crap, that's not what I meant to say. Chris Deed. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Yo, yo, yo. Dennis Branham, yeah, you said you're right, and you need to prove things to yourself, too. Well, that's the thing. Like I said, I show the photos, show you guys what's in it, and then, of course, you guys go, well, I'm not sure what this guy is seeing. Like I said, it could be any channel, not just mine, right? And have a look at it. This is the reason why we supply the links. Now, some channels won't do that. They won't show the links at all. I think I'd rather have the people have the links so they can look at it themselves. Take the photo, analyze it, and you go, okay, I'm going to line it up. I'm going to enhance it myself. And then what I want to do is I want to see if there's any, anything that's the same as what I've found or somebody else has found. And that's what it's all about. And then you can make your own decisions. If you just go, it's crap, I don't see anything, that's fine. And if you do, you go, oh, wow, and then it confirms what you've seen in mine, and you come up with the same thing, which I tell you. In the end, it matters not what you are told. You have to decide. Exactly right. Exactly right. I have many people telling me right now, they said, listen, man, we love the idea that you don't just cram it down our throat. You say, this is what you found. This is what you think it is. You guys make your own decisions. And that's the way I've always been like that. I just think it's only right. Not here to cram it down people's throats. I'm here to tell you, this is what I found. And I think it's cool stuff. What do you guys think? Guys, look at it yourself and you make your own decisions. What do we have here? I wanted to show you guys this. Let me see if I can see here. Oh, I love this here. I don't know if you guys have seen this black hole warning. Why scientists deliver dire prospects for life on Earth. It's bad. That's the way they say it. What I find interesting is the way they said this. This is cool. how do they put it? The black hole approaching Earth would swallow everything in its path, and it would not be a nice way to die, according to scientist Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? But what's funny about it is the way they say this. A black hole is a region of space time exhibiting gravitational acceleration so strong that it has been said nothing can escape. However, scientists were stunned earlier this week when a star was hurtling out of the black hole at the center of a Milky Way, leading them to question everything they thought they knew. Despite this, American astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson has a damning prospect for life on Earth. Should a black hole ever approach the blue planet? Now, I don't know about you guys, but this could be, instead of a black hole, is it possible it's a wormhole? If things are coming out of this black hole, how is that possible? I don't know about you guys, but I was always told a black hole is like, forget about it, you're done. Anything goes in there, it's done. But yet something comes out of it? Wait a minute. So is it possible it's an actual, it's more of a wormhole than it is a black hole? Or are they both? Meaning some are black holes and they would just destroy anything in its path. Or is it like a wormhole and something's traveling in and out of these? I don't know. The big disclosure is we are the little small nothing in a very big universe full of other civilization. You're right about that, Mr. Wayne. Bachon, got to go. Have a great week, Chris. You do the same, man. Good. I'm glad you stopped in. Have a good rest of the night and a good week coming up. Phil Snyder will open your eyes, watch his presentation if the video manipulation you get brought to light here. Absolutely. Zach Lau, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing the last one. Hi, Chris. I've been watching your channel for about a year now. Great work. Hi from the UK. Well, I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, misheard. Yeah, I'm thinking of myself. If something's coming out of this, like I said, I don't know about you guys, but I was always told that a black hole, like I said, it's like a drain, right? In your tub or whatever. Just that's it. I mean, it just sucks everything in. Doesn't matter what it is, nothing can get out of it, and yet something's coming out of it. Yeah, I find it a little bizarre. And what else? A tiny Chinese lunar orbiter just crashed into the moon's far side on purpose. And of course, it was what was it called? The Longzhang, not Long Johns, but Longzhang 2, also known as DSL WP-B, crashed intentionally into the moon's far side on July 31st, according to media reports. And it was like 104 pounds. Was sent into space on May 21st, 2018, along with the Chang 4 lunar probes relay satellite, and entered orbit around the moon 4 days later. And of course, it says Zhang, or whatever, 2 sister satellite. The first one failed to reach lunar orbit. The small spacecraft orbited for about 437 Earth days, exceeding its 1-year design lifespan. It was then brought down in a control fashion in 10:20 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and then it said 10:20 p.m. Beijing time. So, yeah. And on July 31st, China's state-run news agency reported China National Space Administration, or the CNSA, Lunar Exploration and Space Program Center as a source. The microsatellite carried an ultra-long-wave detector developed by the National Space Science Center of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, aiming to conduct radio astronomy observation and study solar radiation. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Oh, somebody's mowing their lawn next door. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Mike picks up everything. If what he has shown you here isn't enough, his story will seal the deal. Exactly. I read the nearest black hole to us is about 2,300 light years away. I heard something about that too. I think the numbers are pretty correct. Um, you know, like I said, so it makes you wonder again, if something's coming out of it, is it really a black hole? Where did it come from out of this black hole? I mean, that's just bizarre, right? I think black holes are for traveling the universe. Always thought science. I was a kid, and my almost 5-year-old son says the same. Go figure. Well, and it's exactly right, man. It's like again, everything you thought you were told, right? And then all of a sudden you start reading things like this, and it's just like, what? It does. It just starts. Now you go, okay, so everything I learned in school is basically should be trashed. And then, because science is always evolving, right? It's always changing. Why? More, hypotheses, which is basically an educated guess, right? So, by peer review, repeating the process of testing, so on and so forth. And this is how science evolves, right? So, yeah. The night ale, fill in the blank. The schmucks at NASA that smudge photos are black holes, wormholes, a-holes. I like that. We are like ants in a sandbox, and we can't get off our own grain of sand, and there's no way to know what's happening on the next grain. Well, and that's exactly right, and that's a good way to put it. Because, like I said, I remember they were saying that they use that analogy of the Hubble, telescope, where they said that where it looked at a part of the universe, right, or the galaxy, they had like this area, and it had like these. Man, it was like I don't know how many solar systems and stuff like that were in that photo, right? There were like galaxies within, and there's tons of them. And they said that's only like a grain of sand on a beach. That's what it looked at, just that small area. So how can we again say that we're just like the only ones around? Man, I think it's very closed-minded. I don't think that's the case at all. But some people still believe that. Uh, hey, Paul, it's true. You want correct, you have to type it in, type it out yourself. Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I found out, using the auto spell and stuff like that, correct. Yeah, you're better off doing it yourself. You try to do it fast, so you can just get it on there, and it just, yeah, end up putting some on there totally whacked out. That makes no sense. Um, Rock stocks and blocks. Chris, is it easier to pull out anomalies on the moon pics, or is it easier on Mars images? Truthfully, the moon, because it was done with more of a, I want to use the term lame kind of way they uh, tried to manipulate and stuff like that. It wasn't as high tech as it is now. So now everything's so much harder to see on the moon photos than it is on uh, the moon itself. You can find this stuff pretty darn easy and pretty good by just, really getting into these photos. Mars is so much harder, man. They got so much better techniques now than they did back in the day because they didn't have the stuff they got today. Or if they did, it was very crude, right? So, yeah. What we see is only the tip of the iceberg. You're right about that, Carp 566. You're absolutely right about that. Danny Webster, you put on there, what I have been told about black holes is if light could travel at its normal speed in a vacuum, it would get out of a black hole. Um, it would get out of the black hole, and the problem is it's low light down so much that it can't get out. And that's true. Yeah, it gets absorbed, right? Um, yeah, it's to me, it's just like again, it absorbs everything, right? So to me, I'm going, okay, so let me get my head around this. So everything it comes in contact with, it'll suck in planets and everything, depending on the size of the hole, right? It'll literally suck in everything in. Okay. So again, why is anything coming out of it? So it makes you wonder. And I wonder how big that object was, or planet, or whatever it was, come out of it. And what slung it out of there to begin with? Or was under its own power? Who knows, right? Just more questions. Hatchet Man, thank you, sir, for your support. Chris, I hope NASA is watching this. I want to be the first person to be sent to Mars. Just come and get me, NASA. You know where I am at. I've said this myself. I wouldn't mind going one way or not. You know as well as I do that these astronauts knew that that could have been, a one-way ticket. Think about it. It's only right to the moon. But they knew it was a one-way ticket. Or they probably had maybe an idea. They said, yeah, we're coming back, but, anything could fail. So they knew I'm sure they said, had their will and testaments and everything filled out, everything was done. Good, seriously. If they make the first trip to the moon, anything can go faulty. Like they had the fire on one of them, right? So anything could happen. So these guys are probably thinking, man, I hope this is not a one-way ticket, man, because we're screwed. So yeah. There are more galaxies in the universe than all the grains of sand on the beach. Yep. And planets Earth. Scientists have calculated that there are a quartillion Earths out there since God's Big Bang Theory. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, like I said, just look at some of the Hubble telescope photos. It's crazy. Like I said, there was one area, and in that area, you could see like a bunch of galaxies in it. They're trying to find the edge of the universe itself. It's like, how do you do that? Now, try to get your head wrapped around that. So every day we're used to like walls, doors, things that you walk into. So darn well you have limitations. You can only go so far. But I want you to envision when you close your eyes and say, okay, I'm going to go out in space. I'm flying out in space, and there's no end. There's no end. That just makes you like, what? Now, they say that they're trying to find the tip of, how do you find a tip of a void? I don't think you'll ever find it. It's just there, man. It's there, but if that makes any sense, it's not there. Meaning it's just void, and it goes on and on. And I don't think we'll ever find the end unless we get super, technologically advanced and we can send out probes. So yeah, I mean, when you stop and think about that, it's like, wow, it makes your hair tingle kind of thing. Like, wow, yeah, I just can't fathom that. Your brain can't fathom. You're used to limitations and being in rooms and stuff like that. And you can't just go on and on without walking into something or whatever. But if you could just fly out in space and keep going, that's it. You don't stop. I don't think they'll ever find it because there is no edge. It just goes on. It just is. That's all there is to it. Uh, I hear you, American Rebel. You're right. And just like Miss Heard just told you, yep, absolutely correct. Leon Hall, great question. Why don't we ever see the Hubble telescope pointed at the moon or Mars? You can almost bet they have. Um, think about this a minute. I want you guys to just act like you wanted the designers of the Hubble. All right. I don't think there's a person in that room and said, you know what we need to do? Make this thing magnify so greatly that we can't even see the planets in our own solar system. Why would they do that? Seriously, why would they do that? You know, that would have been the first thing I would have used it for, was to look at the planets, every planet in our solar system, including the moon. And you could bet they can dial it down so they can see everything. Like I said, the smallest crack on the moon, right out to Mars. Could probably see a flea in a buffalo's rear end, right? So I don't believe that for a moment. I think the first thing they did was use the Hubble. And of course, they got all kinds of crazy photos of every sun, every dawn planet in our solar system, moon or whatever, and seen it with great detail. So it was a tool used, but now now that we get all the information, you can almost guarantee they still point it here and there. What I mean by that is because a lot of these planets, they actually rotate, right? So they want to see all the different, like they'll just sit there. Let's say they're looking at Saturn, just constantly boom, boom, boom. Either take video of it or just pictures of it as it's rotating and gather all the information in, so on and so forth. And they've done it to every planet and every moon in our solar system. You're not going to tell me they just, yeah, let's not bother looking at any of the planets or the moons in our solar system. Let's just look way out billions of years, light years away. Come on now. And nobody's going to do that. I just don't buy that. Shep, you said I've seen one picture of the moon from Hubble. I forgot where I saw it though. Yeah, I mean they had actually a couple of them, and I'm almost positive they did one of the Apollo mission landing sites, and it was kind of like wasn't the best quality. Like I said, I don't believe that for a minute. I think they can like dial it way down. It's kind of like your own camera, right? You can just super, zoom and then zoom back out, just to, something in the foreground, just something that's way out there, depending on your magnification and zoom, right? Because they got the digital zoom as well as mechanical zoom. So you can almost bet that they can see everything in the solar system. Yeah. James Craig, you put in a Chris, man, try to get a look at the documentation, I'm sorry, documentary about the Vatican's Lucifer telescope and the Mount Graham. It's unreal, man. I've seen actually, I'm trying to remember if I seen the whole thing, if it was the same one you're talking about. I got to take a look though. I'll definitely have a look. There was one, and I mean, I seen this thing, and this thing is insane when you see it. It's crazy. And it's like, what does the Vatican need with the telescope? Seriously, think about it. Yeah, John Devon. Yeah, that's exactly right. They probably did it when they tested the Hubble. You can almost guarantee it. And I think it's even been upgraded too since then. It's been there for actually from many years ago. They actually upgraded something, I think the motherboard or something in it as well. Rock stocks on the blocks. Sometimes I wish Russia got to the moon first because for some reason I don't think they would be as dishonest. We may have better picks as well. And you might be right. I mean, but the way I look at it is, like I said, it's almost like this elite that's far above any president or leader of any country, and they're just like I said, everybody else down from them is basically, um, you know, what's the term I want to use? Basically, need to know kind of thing. I don't think they're going to let anybody know, the president, anything like that. They'll go, yeah, 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 we'll show you, yeah, whatever, and they'll give them some cheesy photos, and they'll think, yeah, that's just what we got, and they don't have to do anything if they're above everybody. Think about it. The government, the military itself, even though you could be the president in chief, doesn't mean they're going to tell you the whole story, right? PJM 4AM. Do you believe the cover up of the face of Mars, Chris? I believe it has been covered up. I believe the original Viking orbiter, when it took its photo, it looked more realistic. I don't know if you guys seen that, but it looked, even though it's black and white, it doesn't matter. It still was realistic and it looked fantastic. And I said, "Oh my God, look at this!" And then they showed the one. Oh well, it was all about shadows and all this other stuff. But when you see the newest photo of it, it's completely CGI. It's not even the raw photo. You look at the Viking orbiter and it looks awesome. I mean, it's don't get me wrong, the resolution sucks, but it's not the point. It still wasn't CGI. You look at the new one, you can just tell it's CGI. It's absolute crap. I think it's the real deal, to be truthful with you. Uh Now what do you say? Let's say, you know, Francis Outlaw. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, you're welcome to your opinion. I believe that they have, and the only reason why I believe that is because of what we're seeing in the photos. Now, let's suppose for a moment you're right. Let's suppose for a moment that they never sent anybody at all, meaning men at all. You could bet there was at least landers that took the photos because they were on this lunar, on the lunar itself, the surface itself, right? They were there and took pictures. So let's take man out of the equation for a moment. I'm okay with that, you know, but that doesn't mean they haven't taken photos of the moon or on the lunar surface, and I think that's what they're seeing. So whichever way you want to believe is totally a prerogative. I look at it this way: I believe we've been there because of if you see how the things were put together, the capsules. You said not in that tin can, I think you said, but you got to keep something in mind when you look at the actual LEM itself. the lunar module, the astronauts were up at the very top, so the rest of it didn't matter. It's, in other words, it's basically just a frame and some. It looked like basically tinfoil, right? But they had the lunar buggy on the side, it was folded in and put inside. You can actually find a video on YouTube about this and how they put this together. It's wild the way they did it, and they had like 5 or 6 firms that were literally given the task to come up with an idea to build it. And I think it was Boeing and another company that won, and they put this thing together. It literally folded into the actual lander. It's pretty cool. Just look it up. And the work that they put into this thing to get it there, I believe wholeheartedly they've been there. And like I said, let's suppose I'm wrong. And like I said, everybody's wrong about it. And they never even went to the moon at all, at least not by man. They at least put landers on there. And this is the reason why we're seeing on the lunar surface, we're seeing these things. Something's been on the lunar surface, whether it's been machine or man, right? So either way you want to look at it, that may be true. But if we were to take man out of the equation, I'm cool with that either way. But either way, I think they had a lander on there. Something was on that moon and took photos. Dennis Branham. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't believe there's a beginning or an end to the universe. Exactly. God's playground. I believe you're absolutely right. Live long and prosper, American Rebel says. Yes, Ian Walton. Yeah, you said it was a very big event in Australia because we were beaming it around the world. You're right. They had a large radio telescope there, and then they just kind of relayed it around the world. You're right. 357 Robbie. Yeah, laser reflection measuring device got to the moon and was set up somehow. And you're right, they still use it today. I don't know if you guys have read that, how they do that, but they actually shoot a laser to it. Now, what it is, you don't get a direct beam back. In other words, let's say you send a fine beam to the moon to one of those reflectors, you don't get it back the same way. You get like light part of that light beam particles back, it reflects back, and they can tell the distance by that time it takes to return back to Earth. Um, so that's how they determined that the moon is actually pulling away an inch every year. But in fact, is it China? China sent another one up there. They're going to actually have some more up there. They're sending their newer version of these little reflectors up there. And I think they said they only weighed like an ounce. They only had to be a mirror, a light mirror, right? Yeah, Renee, I remember that. That was an extraterrestrial alien woman on there, Total Recall with 3. Yeah, that was pretty funny. You're right about that. Daniel Webster, I was told as a kid we get so close that one day we will see the edge of the universe. I don't think I don't think now they believe they can because at long distances it is expanding faster than light. And that's the thing. You get this red drift going on, right? And they can see this red drift and they can see this expansion of the universe. And so that's why they say the Big Bang is actually the real deal. Um, that's their best theory they can come out with, but that doesn't mean it's the right one. Um, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying, but that's what the best what they've got is from what they're seeing, right? And so they're, it's still just expanding at this point. There's no way they'll catch up to it, and I don't believe there is an end because, like I said, we're so used to in being told to that there's limitations, there's walls, there's this, and it's true in everyday life, right? But when you're out in space, it just keeps going, man. There's no stopping, and it's just like I don't think we'll ever find out unless we just send out probes, hoping that one day we'll see another civilization or whatever. And just, that's what it's all about. Just trying to find our neighbors. Some people say you don't want to find them though. You see what happens to you, you will get punched. Like I said, tell that to Buzz. Yeah, remember that when they said, yeah, Swee went and walked on the moon. Man, I don't have to answer that. That's because you didn't do it. You're a liar. Bang, left hook, dropped him. I don't know if he dropped him, but he definitely set him back a couple steps. I'm not sure I heard about that, Chris. You said, hey, Chris, so what about China's artificial moon affecting the gravitational pull of the moon to Earth and having another massive body in the atmosphere between us? I'm not sure which exactly what that is. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? Is there a link we can check out, or? I'm just watching the conversation between you guys. Uh, Scott Schumer, yeah, you put on there, or Schmer, whatever it's pronounced. I'm not sure. You said you saw Kubrick on TV, not what really happened. A lot of people claim that, but even if he made this purposely to uh, lie about what happened, try to sell it to the public, so to speak, I think it really, even if he did do it, which I doubt he did, but let's say he did, just for argument's sake, if he did it, it was to hide what's really going on. That's the way I look at it. Um, there's too much proof out there from what we're seeing in photos. And like I said, anybody can sit on, if you go to like an observatory, and I'm talking about a really good observatory, and you can see like go on the largest telescope possible and look at it, you're almost probably going to see some kind of structures there, right? It might be so difficult, but you may be able to see some. Okay. If you were there and you saw it, what would be the first thing you'd do? You'd want to get there, right? Any way, any means, how. So you're gonna do all kinds of experiments, send people out into space and orbit. Okay, come back down, do more experiments until finally you can get man on the moon. So once you get them there, now they do whatever they were sent there to do, right? So, um, like I said, to me, it just makes more sense that they did go. Now, let's suppose, like I said, for argument's sake, he did do it. It was only just to pull a wool over your eyes that, oh yeah. Well, it was all fake. We really didn't go. Well, how do you know we didn't? Anybody could say, well, they faked it, but that doesn't mean they did. And if he did fake it, if they did have him and incorporate him to do these video clips and whatever else, it's because they're trying to say, maybe later on we could say it was fake. And then people go, oh, well, then I'm not going to put any weight into what NASA says at all. All of it's BS. But, judging by what we're seeing in these photos, I say they've been there. Like I said, even if it wasn't people, they still had landers or some kind of craft went there and took photos of this stuff. One way or the other, there's things on that moon that just don't belong there. And they're not ours. Yeah, Miss Heard, you heard what happened to InfoWars, all right? Basically taking him off and screwing with his ass and everything else, man. It's just crazy. Can't have that truth come out. Well, yeah, power vapor supply. You said I like when Buzz told the little girl that they've never been to the moon and that's how it happened. No, actually, if you really watch that video, he said we haven't been back to the moon. Listen to it carefully. They said we've never been back to the moon. He doesn't say we haven't been to the moon. In fact, somebody else said that to me. Oh no, you don't understand. He said right out they didn't. I watched the video. It says we haven't been back, and it's the way you just watch the way he responds to it. He's kind of like cautious about how he says it too. So yeah. Well, Miss Hurd, I remember they said they were trying to attack his channel, meaning they were trying to take him down. Now I don't know if he's down completely, um, Alex, but I know they were really messing with him, and they were trying to take his channel down. Now I don't know if they fully did or if he's back on. I don't know. Maybe you could tell me. I think he's even got his own site, doesn't he? Because I know he had. Trying to remember what else he was on. There was several other sources you could get him on, and I'm not sure now, but But like I said, if he was taken down, it wouldn't surprise me. If man had never been to the moon, we would all be saying they did. They had it's and it's a conspiracy. Well, I mean, like I said, I judge on my decision on what I see in the photos. Like I said, even if we were to take man out of the equation, something landed on that moon. We sent something to the moon, kind of like the Russians did, right? When they sent the Lunokhod, their rovers, they sent them to the moon. So what's that tell you? They sent them to the moon because they didn't want to send man. They knew that. Now they're saying right off the bat that they didn't want to send. I don't forget what the reason was, but they didn't want to send man to the moon, or they were trying to when we sent people to the moon. So they end up sending a Lunokhod, which is kind of smart. Think about it. Send a rover instead of sending man. So if something happens to the rover, who cares, right? But we wanted to go up there for a reason. Why didn't we send, mechanical rovers and stuff like that? Why didn't we do that? And they sent more than one of those Lunokhods. It was I'm trying to remember if there's 4 or 5 of them things total, and they traveled a good distance on that moon. So they went up there with cameras, took all kinds of photos. I think it even had its own laboratory on it, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, it still had cameras. It took all kinds of photos. Yet we wanted to go there at all costs. Why? Oh, yeah, because we wanted to look at moon rocks and dust. Yeah, we couldn't wait to pick that stuff up. Come on. Now, Russia sent a Lunokhod, which only took basically photos. And like I said, it might have done a couple tests, but photos of, say, 1,000,000 words, man. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. So they've seen some crazy stuff in there. And they said, listen, we don't care if we send man up there as long as we get all kinds of photos of this stuff. That's the way I look at it. Yes, 2001, very coded. Yep, exactly. I'm not sure, Renee. What was that fake moon landing movie with the murderer O.J. Simpson? I don't know. It sounds familiar, but I can't place the name of it. Exactly, Shep. Why do we send monkeys if we weren't going? Well, see, that's the thing. Test some, I think they even did that. They did a couple of primates. They actually sent them out there to test to see what would happen to them. And of course, the rocket, or the capsule came back. See how he would fare in there, right? And I think they, as far as I know, they made it well. They did it well. So, um, so that's basically the way they'll test. That's what it comes down to. Scott, you said, but for some reason now that we have better tech, we have to go back. The tech talking about Orion said it. So we can't go to the moon without passing through the baby. So hadn't we already done that? Well, we have. I think what it is because, like I said, they lost it. When they say they lost the old tech, think about it. They've already done what they had to do. They went to the moon. It's kind of like old cars today. Why don't we keep the old junk boxes back in the day, like in the 1960s? Although there was great cars, especially like Vets, stuff like that in the late 60s or mid 60s. We evolved. So we got rid of the older tech, even though if you look at an average car, you still got a block, right? So you still get the basis of it, but everything else is high tech now and everything else. So if you think about it, it's like we're done with it. We did what we had to do. We did our missions. Just throw the junk aside now. We're done. Scrap it. So when they say we lost the tech, they don't lose it. They got rid of it. Now they got new tech. Now they got to make sure these things can also be able to go through the Van Allen belts. And but they know exactly how to do that. I explained that last time where there's 2 Van Allen belts and there's 3 at times due to the solar activity. And they know exactly how these things show up and, according to the magnetic fields of the Earth. And so they know exactly where to go and either go up towards the poles. If you ever notice, you never see like a mission or a launch rather going straight up. It does, and then it goes like there's a curve. Well, for starters, they try to do that to slingshot around the Earth. They do that for a reason. So they can build up speed and then shoot to the moon or wherever else they want to go. So they get up enough speed and slingshot. So the whole thing is they'll go out past the Van Allen belts. In other words, they'll try to get, above them or below them so there's less chance of getting any kind of radiation. So the new crafts are going to be built to withstand that too, right? And they also have to build them because they want to go to Mars. So it makes sense to saying, okay, we have to build these things really well because they're going to be flying out in space where there's nothing protecting them. They're going to still get the solar radiation from the sun. They have to make sure that that stuff's going to be able to, be able to stand the radiation, right? So yeah, they've done that, and it's not like they're stupid. They've done this already, so that's not a problem. Yeah, we went to the moon. Too much documentation. Russia verifies too that we did. Yeah, Hatchet Man, you're right. These astronauts were chosen to go to the moon because they passed the training, just like special forces. They don't talk, pretty much, you know. And I can't even imagine what these guys had to go through, man. I just can't imagine, going there, getting. It's like I said, it's the idea. First of all, you do the training, right? You ever see the centrifugal force thing? They had to go in and all this other crap. They had to be able to withstand all kinds of these things, the beating on the body, all kinds of tests they had to do. And then they had to build all of the equipment and stuff like that. They got them there. Now, as an astronaut, you must be thinking, you're going, oh my God, this is, it's got to be nerve wracking, first of all, because you're going through the test. First of all, you had to be chosen, but then you go through all these rigorous physical tests. Then you're like, oh my God, this may be a one-way ticket because we've never done this before. We never went to the moon, at least not man. They go to the moon. Now they see the crazy things on the moon. I can't even imagine what that's even like. I just, and then they see these things and they say, oh, by the way, you're not allowed to say anything. I- how do you keep that to yourself? Um, why was Russia or China not divulged? Why has Russia or China not divulged what is on the moon? The U.S. likes to be the first at everything. And well, you're right, but I think what it is like I said, there's this. They're basically the elites. I think every space agency is basically working together, and they are. If you ever go to the Kennedy Space Center, just go there and you see all the flags that they're affiliated with. They're all hung up in the hangar. I've been down there; it's pretty cool. Down in Florida, they got on the what do they call it? The Space Coast. It's basically on the east coast of the Florida there, and you can see that like all the flags, like JAXA, which is Japan. There's all kinds of countries that are affiliated with them and work together. So they work together and maybe for the good of mankind, meaning, they do all kinds of stuff for us. They get everything, all this information. It helps out mankind. Not that we know about. They just water it down. We might get the technologies that they invented and somehow it filters down to us and our household stuff, whatever it may be. The only thing that frustrates me is they're not telling everybody the truth, what they're finding out there. Um, but I think there's a good in all of that somewhere. And I think that's what it comes down to. They're working together. We're on a need to know basis, even our leaders, and they're just doing their thing. Maybe they're doing their best not to have us, I don't know, aliens take over. Who knows? I mean, it could be a range of things, right? Yep. Chef, you're right. Russia would have used that against us long ago if we didn't go. Yeah, because they would have been, no, we beat you. Unless, of course, they're working together too. Again, which I believe they were. I always use the term they're all bedfellows because that's what they are. They're all working together. This is the reason why one won't ride on the other because they're all working together. They're just like, okay, we'll just keep it to ourselves. Now China's in on it too. And if you look at China, the first time they sent to the Chang'e 4, I took one of those photos and ripped it to pieces. How many of the photos have you seen lately? And it's not because of me. I'm just saying, but how many have you seen? It's not a whole lot. And they had the same exact. It looks like they went overboard on it though. The way NASA manipulated photos like of Mars, they did the same thing on the moon and Mars. They did it on their photos. And oh my God, it looked like trash. It was complete trash. Completely whited out and fogged out and everything else. It's just crazy how they did it. Francis Outlaw, you said what gets me and stuff is space is flying 17,000 miles an hour. who's up there moving this stuff out of the way for the space shuttle to go through. Well, they know all of these trajectories and everything else and how these things fly. Some of them are geosynchronous. Basically they're in the um, down next to the well, next to the equatorial region, and you got most of them there, and they just they're actually turning with the Earth, and so they know where those are, and then they know most of them are next to the equatorial region, so they can just fly above all those, and they know exactly where all these things are. You can bet they're mapping and seeing everywhere they're at, so they know exactly where to fly through. Believe me, these guys are more high tech than most people think. They're not going to let that many things flying out in space. All right, just go out and have at it. You know what I mean? So um, you could bet it's like a traffic cam. It's like they know exactly where all of these satellites and space junk is and everything else, right? You'll find most of the stuff is like I said near the equatorial region, either just above or just below it, or right on it. If just look it up, we'll say where's the satellites at. And you have some that actually go from what do they call it? Like a polar orbit. They'll go this way, but most of them are going around the equatorial region. I have seen that, John Devon. Yeah, did you ever see the video where the astronauts inside a moon building, walking along a strange city? I seen that. I don't know how real that is, if it is real at all. Um, it looks realistic the way they've done it, but whether it is or not, that's kind of like a 50-50 thing. Right, Daniel Webster. Yeah, I don't believe the moon hoax theory either because I've heard too many people say it would be harder to fake it than it is just sending people there, and the Russians would have definitely known. James Craig, come on, guys, smash and share them buttons. Chris, man, it's over a 2 hour mark again this week. You're top of the range, man. You are giving us some great week, man. Yeah, smash that like button, man. Uh, beat the hell out of it. Uh, if you put a code in, it takes at least 45 minutes to get to the spaceship or satellite. No, actually, it doesn't. It's like, here's a good example. Depending on where Mars is, in other words, you can be in Perlian, the way it could be further away from the moon or closer. It could be behind the sun. Um, Depending on where it's at, it'll take anywhere between 5 and 20 minutes to get a signal back from or transmit it from one of the orbiters from the orbiter to Earth from Mars. So it's almost instantaneous. In fact, when they had the Chang'e 3, like I said, I don't know if you remember that story, Francis Outlaw, but when they claimed that the solar panels couldn't close on the side of that little rover, they said it basically froze right on one of the nights that it was there, and they blatantly lied because there was a ham operator that could actually hear the ping that thing gives out. So every rover does this, even the ones on Mars. They literally, if they're out of range, meaning the planet itself, and then they can't get information or data back, it'll at least ping. And it pings through the X band on the rover, at least the one on Mars. And what it'll do is it'll ping basically saying, I'm all right, I'm cool, I'm good. So this rover did the same thing. And one of the ham operators here on Earth heard it ping, even though they said it was dead. It's not. And it's almost instantaneous. You'd be lucky if it's 30 seconds it takes to get here. It's like so quick. Jeff Martin, hey Chris, did you get those pictures I emailed? Did you send it to my actual email or was it the Facebook one? Because I did actually check out a couple of them. I don't know if you sent them today or if it was yesterday, but I haven't checked it at all in those last couple of days. Just let me know. Um, he avoided that question then. Then it. Not sure which one you're talking about, Francis. Don't want to avoid any questions. This thing's just jumping up on me here. So if I missed anybody, I apologize. Yeah, you're right about that. Linda Borum, yeah, you can Google space junk orbits. The Earth looks like a semi-full pincushion. You're right about that. They're like, but you look where they're mostly at, right? Some of them are in the northern hemisphere, and some are in the south. But most of the majority, you'll find most of them in the equatorial region of Earth. It's a fictional movie about how they could have faked it, and how the Russians knowing that it includes how Kubrick could have been involved. Really entertaining. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of theories flying around how they faked it, they didn't fake it, so on and so forth. Um, like I said, I think these guys gave their lives. I think these guys, to me, they're heroes. They did everything they were supposed to do. They not only volunteered, but they were picked. So I don't believe that any of that was faked. Now they might have faked some of the footage purposely in case something went horribly wrong, or they did that as a cover, meaning astronauts are doing something much more like looking at these structures, uh, I'm going to use the term down spacecraft or spacecraft, anything. And then what they showed was like a PR move, which, oh, look at that rocks. We're playing golf on the lunar surface and stuff like that. I think that if that was anything, that's what they did. They did as a cover to fool us to what's really going on. But they have been there. I can almost guarantee it. Oh, okay. I'll check it out, Jeff. I sent them a couple weeks ago. Okay. Looks like a complete attempt in hiding the stuff. Okay. Yeah, I'll have another look just in case. If you want, send it again just in case it somehow ended up in the spam or didn't go through or something like that. Just send them again because I'll definitely check them out. They say the moon is over 450,000 years older than the Earth. What do you think about that? That's what I've been hearing myself. And if that's true, well, then clearly it came from somewhere else. If that's true, because obviously Earth wasn't here if the moon was much older. So it came from somewhere at some point. And like I said before, the ancients had talked about that where there was a time where there was no moon, right? I've said this many times, and they have said that. And now all of a sudden, it must have just like boom, all of a sudden this thing's in there. They're probably thinking, what the hell's that? So yeah, yeah, Brian. No, you're right about that. Actually, sick and tired of people saying fake moon landing. Other countries, especially Russia, would have called us out. Please, please get over it, people. Um, exactly. Oh, look how cute! Another one. Another troll. Yes. Eat him up, spit him out. Did you think about that all by yourself? People are funny as hell. Astrophysics. Yep. Chris has shown you proof they lie. Absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, you get them every now and then. We know what channel that's from anyway. I have, Michael. Yeah. Chris says, have you watched any of Jose Escamilla's documentary movies, Moon Rising? Absolutely. Really good shows. If you guys got a chance, go check them out. Jose Escamilla's documentary movies, Moon Rising, lunar, I'm sorry, or celestial. He shows Clementine one. It's a 1.5 map color surface and huge structures scattered all over. Absolutely. And in fact, we were on one time, UFA, the UFA group, which is United Federation of Anomaly Hunters, basically. And basically, we had him on the show. And we were talking about that. Great guy. He was awesome. Oh yeah. Yeah, he thinks he's slick, Miss Heard. He thinks he's slick, but it's like feeble attempts. It's like, what's the point? Fag. Oh, my hero. It's like, how long did it take you to think of that? You get all these people just coming on there. It's silly as hell. It's probably just him. He's just sending these little trolls over. That's fine, but it just shows you what kind of person he really is, right? John Devon, hello, trolls, blood out there. You know what? Yeah, exactly. Uh, Devara, all the time we are looking, nothing solid. Show me real stuff, real UFOs, not something looking like real. Yeah, I mean, well, there's other channels out there that like to claim that they're showing UFOs, but there's no solid evidence of that at all. Always crappy, resolution. See a couple birds in the video. Ooh, it's a UFO. I seen that one. I almost laughed at that one. That was pretty good. That was actually pretty funny. See this bird flapping in the distance. Oh, look, a UFO. Whatever. Well, yeah, Mr. Wayne. Yeah, you'll see that. That's the trolls. It's pretty funny. You can have 6 thumbs down with all of this conversation we've been having. Exactly. So where they're coming from. And I think it's funny. They'll literally take the time to sit there and just sit there and sit there. It's like, and then they'll just sit there trying to type away. It's like, what's the point? It's like for the time it took you to do it, I can do it in half of that time, or a quarter of the second to just take you right off. What's the point? You can type it all day long if you want to. And I don't even have 15,000 moderators. Go figure, right? People are weak. Exactly. John Devon, yeah, wasting their time. Well, like I said, Scott, it comes down to people's perspectives too. You know what I mean? And I respect everybody's opinion. I just personally believe we've all been, we've been to if Russia's been to the moon, we've been to the moon, in one form or another, right? You'd have to at least agree to that. So I'm not saying I know some people have said that you said that we didn't, you said that we didn't go. And I think I think everybody, I respect everybody's opinion. It's just, like I said, mine personally, absolutely believe we went. And but some people question it because of the way the capsule was made. How did they get the lunar buggy up there? Just you can actually YouTube it. You'll find it within minutes or two. It was the lunar buggy. You can put how did they get the lunar buggy there or whatever, and you can either find it on sites or on the video. And like I said, how they put this thing together is it's super simple, but it's actually, I mean, it's aluminum frame toy is what it is. I mean, it's got 4 electric motors, simple batteries under the seats. We've got the cameras on board. Like I said, it's aluminum frame. It's lightweight. Well, when it's on the moon, it's even more lightweight, right? So yeah. So when you think about it, it's genius, but yet simple. And the way they put this thing together and stuffed it up in there, it's pretty cool. Jeff Martin, when's your next video coming out? Well, pretty soon. Within a day or two, like usual. I try to get them out, probably Tuesdays. Because, get back into it, get the video together, so on and so forth, to get them out by Tuesday. So Robin Morgan, I smashed the like button as soon as I arrived, albeit late. Well, better late than ever, right? Glad to have you on here. Exactly, Paul. Yeah, if people don't like your channel, why come here? Because they want to be a thorn in people's rear ends. And I think it's hilarious. They'd spend the time. And I thank you, trolls, for being here. I appreciate that. Just brings more attention to the channel. Thank you very much, including you too, Bruce. Do your best. Do what you got to do. All right, Francis Outlaw. Good having you in here, man. Thanks for throwing some questions here and there, and you have a good one as well, right? Right, Jeff. I think you're right. They're just lying about why they were there, and that's what I'm saying. I think if there was a video made at all, like I said, it's a PR move. Um, they're just showing them. Like I said, they're showing these little scoops, and they're scooping up these little rocks, and ooh, look at this. That might have actually been made on a set. That might actually be true. However, what they really did is the whole different thing. That's the whole idea. And like I said, even if we would have just, buy the idea that there was no humans on the moon, which I don't believe that, but there was at least a lander there. They were taking these photos of these things. These objects are there on the moon, one way or the other. Tony, so you put on there, what's up, Chris? I do believe we've been to the moon, but I also think the first moon landing is a fake just to win the race with USSR. Well, here's the thing. Back in the day when it was Soviet Union, like I said, to me, it's they knew they were going to get there anyway, right? So, like I said, that's why they sent the Lunicods, their rovers up there and stuff like that. So one way or the other, they're going to get there. You know what I mean? So even if they didn't send a human or person itself, some astronaut, they didn't send them like we did. Um, Even if they did, they still got bragging rights because they still travel quite a long ways with those things. I forget what you can actually put on the trying to remember if you can put on there how I did it one time. I did a search on there. I said rovers on the moon or missions on the moon, and you'll see like they had like, and the same thing with Mars. You can put on there. They had like different rovers and how far they went, and you can see how far we went with the lunar buggy, and it's how far they went with the Lunicods. And they did quite a good distance with them things, man. So they weren't up there just for simple moon rocks. Why send a rover up there to just do nothing? It makes no sense, right? John Devon, I can't wait to see your next project. Yeah, I'm not sure. I've got either Mars or the moon. I've got some already, on the back burner, so to speak. So I'm just it's just a decision which one to do next because I like to give a variety if I can. Jeff Martin, yeah, after watching the Star Hopper, yeah, that is pretty interesting the way that thing is built, right? Do its hop. You can imagine how much lunar dust it will kick up on landing. We might see that storm from here. Well, that could very well be, though it would take a really good telescope to see that. This chat is awesome and the best, Chris. You've got a great show. Keep up the good work. We love you. I'm out. Got to go see about some things, food. I don't blame you there. Yeah, we'll be closing down anyway. This has been over a couple hours, so 2 hours and 23 minutes to be exact. Yeah, this is great, man. It's like I said, it's like just all sitting around this round table kind of thing, having our conversation, right? So that's what I find awesome about this. Um, yeah, you put in there Javara. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that. Forgive me if I'm not. I watch your channel and video every day. Keep it up. We have to find something solid soon. Moon landing is real, I believe, but I believe that they have people on the moon right now. I believe that too. I actually do believe that. If you can get to the moon back in the late 60s, early 70s, then you can bet they never stopped. Think about that a minute. I believe they have never stopped. I think they just kept going with it and just never mentioned anything to the public and just kept going. Because if they found that they could do it with the crude stuff that they had, what makes you think with the new technology, they haven't done a lot more and we just don't know about it? Now, there's no way to vet it because I'm not there and I don't know, but that doesn't mean they haven't. All right, Chris Steed, you said later, Chris, have a good night to all you truth seekers and non-trolls and trolls. Go F yourselves. I appreciate it there, Chris. Good seeing you in there, man. We'll see you. We'll see you on the flip side there, right? Hatcher Man, I love Mars, as of course you all know. LOL. Yeah, Gordon, you're right about that. Been looking on the NASA website and it's been scrubbed from them. A lot of them, like I said, a lot of these photos have been, I think they've been going over them, to be truthful with you. Because, like I said, back in the day, they were crude the way they went over them. But now, like I said, they're seeing people, oh, wait a minute, hold on. These people are really starting to pull these photos apart. They've got these really good Photoshop and all this other stuff to be able to pull these photos apart because they weren't exactly like the Mars photos where they can hide it much better and much easier. And now they're just realizing that, oh, crap, they might have started doing these back in the 80s, just going over them again. Who knows, right? American Rebel, good seeing you, man. You have yourself a good one there, right? Have yourself a good week coming up. Oh yeah, James Craig. You look, Chris, with your Hawkeyes, man. Who cares now if they did then or now, etc. For F's sakes, what is the pictures and videos you are giving us for a long time now? Be off. They're just jealous, Chris. Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, to me, it's just like it's all about just getting the truth out. That's the way I look at it. I don't care if there's 100 people doing the same work I'm doing, or just myself, whatever it may be. Get the truth out. That's what it's all about. That's why I like sharing some people's work that they do. I say, hey, do you mind if I show this? And then I've seen something else in here as well. I'll give you credit for what you've done, and I'll finish by showing a couple of things I've seen. Oh yeah, man, go ahead, man, knock yourself out. You won't see me do anybody else's work unless I ask them. Soviet Union had first landing Apollo 11. Carefully watch. If no landing, they would have said so. Russia and U.S. at odds. Korea and Vietnam proof we hated communism. Yeah, you're right about that, Miss Hurd. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like I said, these guys were in it because I don't know if the word just got out. They just happened to look through a telescope and said, "Oh my God!" And somehow, because you had these spies back in the day too, right? So they would communicate from the Soviet Union to Earth. I was going to say to Earth to United States and back and forth, right? So how do they know the word didn't get out? Oh my God, there's something on this particular region of the lunar surface. We need to get there. So they both look at it, both of interest, and decide to go. I don't think it was so much of I don't think it was like a power struggle as it was. It wasn't a space race. I think they just wanted to get up there and see what was there. And it wasn't about competing, but they just wanted to see what was there and get their eyes and hands on it if they could, right? So that's the way I look at it. And, but they were up there for a reason. Nobody's going to, like I said, nobody's going to take the chance of taking lives and all this money they spend and everything else just to get up there and just for rocks. It just doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, I'm definitely hungry. No doubt about it. This water's good, but it doesn't fill the belly. Um, yeah, I'm going to be definitely getting out of here, guys. So I'm glad that everybody showed up. Everybody's, jumped in there. Yeah, you guys smash that like button before he goes. So I appreciate you guys, man. You guys know that. And like I said, it's good that you got like this kind of family thing going on where everybody's just chilling, talking amongst themselves. I just sat there just watching you guys, just going back and forth with each other. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? That's why you see me pausing because I'm just watching you guys go back and forth. So I think it's great. We got a community like this and everybody does, everybody just gets it right in there and just either ask questions and they help answer, so on and so forth. So kudos to you guys for doing that too. That's why I love the community here. So you guys are awesome. Anyway, guys, I'm going to definitely get out of here. I appreciate you all. Everybody have yourself a good night and a good week coming up. I'm going to try myself, and we're going to try to get one of these videos knocked out probably around Tuesday-ish. I got a busy week coming up, so I'm going to try like heck to get it out on Tuesday. But if not, latest will be Wednesday. So just keep an eye out. If you're not hitting that bell when you subscribed, so you can get notifications. If you're not getting the notifications, just keep checking back. You'll see something there. So anyway, you guys have yourself a good night, man, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace.